If you've already tried making music in Suno, then you know the main problem. The idea in your head sounds awesome. You more or less understand the mood, genre, voice, and atmosphere, but as soon as you need to turn all that into a prompt, everything gets muddled. What words should you use? In what order? What's more important, style, vocals, structure, or instruments? And as a result, instead of the track you actually wanted, you get something random, raw, or completely off the mark. This is exactly the problem that the Suno Prompt Compiler solves. This app doesn't just help you write a prompt, it helps you organize your musical idea into a clear, understandable, and structured system so that Suno interprets it more accurately and the result is closer to what you originally envisioned. Instead of chaos, structure; instead of guesswork, control; instead of endless trial and error, a clear step-by-step track assembly. First, you can customize the interface to your liking. Switch between light or dark mode, choose Russian or English, and if you're opening the app for the first time, take an interactive tour to understand how everything works here in just a couple of minutes. Next, you can go one of two ways. Either start from scratch and build everything manually, or choose a ready-made style preset to speed up your start. For example, you can select cyberpunk, lo-fi, or a Soviet retro style. The app will immediately set the basic parameters, and then you can fine-tune them to fit your specific idea. This is convenient when you don't want to stare at a blank screen and wonder where to even begin. The next important section is the song structure. This is one of those things that is most often underestimated. Many people just write a general prompt and hope that Suno will figure out where the chorus, verse, and development should go. Here, it's different. You set the track structure in advance: intro, verse, chorus, bridge, and any sequence you need. Because of this, the song is built not as a random flow, but as a meaningful composition. After that, you move on to the lyrics, specify the song's theme, set the direction, and if necessary, you can immediately generate a complete set of lyrics within the app. This is especially useful when you have an idea but no finished lyrics, or when you need to quickly get a foundation that you can later refine by hand. As a result, you end up not just with an abstract mood, but with a real textual foundation for your track. Next comes the vocals, and this is where more fine-tuned adjustments begin. You choose who should sing in the song: male vocals, female vocals, or a duet. Then you set the character of the sound: soft, rough, airy, powerful, intimate, closer to the microphone, or on the contrary, wide, atmospheric, with a sense of space. And what's especially important is that you can immediately specify what should not be present in the vocals. For example, no autotune, no rap, no overly aggressive delivery. This gives you much more precision, because a strong prompt is always not just about what to add, but also about what to remove. After the vocals, you move on to the musical part, where you choose genres. You can even combine two styles at once to get more interesting and unconventional combinations. If the genre you need isn't on the list, you can simply enter it manually. Then you add instruments, tempo, the character of the mix, and the overall mood of the track. In other words, you're not just throwing Suno a vague phrase like "make a beautiful atmospheric song," but essentially putting together a precise musical brief: what should be heard, how it should move, what feeling it should leave, and in which direction the composition should develop. For those who need even deeper control, the app offers advanced settings. Here, you can separately adjust the level of experimentation, the influence of style, and parameters that are especially useful if you're working with reference audio. And if you have very specific requests that don't fit into the standard fields, you can easily add them in the additional details section. And this is the moment when the app does the most valuable thing. It doesn't leave you alone with a bunch of scattered settings, but brings everything together into a ready-made result. You press the compile button and get several structured blocks that you can already use in Suno. Separate tags for the song lyrics, a separate description for the vocals, a separate line for the musical style, a universal combined prompt, and even recommendations for the sliders. So instead of a raw collection of thoughts, you now have a ready-made, logical, and convenient system in your hands. From there, everything is as simple as possible. You copy the necessary block, paste it into Suno, and start the generation. And this essentially is the main point of the entire application. It's not meant to simply add another pretty interface on top of AI music. It's meant to help you finally stop poking around at random and actually start controlling the outcome, so that there are fewer coincidences between your idea and the final track, so you can achieve a good sound faster, and so that Suno becomes a tool for you, not a lottery. To put it simply, Suno Prompt Compiler turns your idea into a system, the system into a strong prompt, and the strong prompt into music that is much closer to what you actually wanted to create.